I have this thing in my life where I just like run everyone away that loves me. And so Cameron loves me, and I have this thing where I was like, you can't love me too much.
Being like, you know, crucifying me for being plastic or whatever. So if you were to ask her, she would be like, well, that's because she perpetuates an unhealthy standard of beauty.
I had a great grandmother who was blind but could see spirits, and so I have stuff in my family of either.
I know all the fighters and their backstories, and I've been into it for a few years now. He likes it, but I'm definitely the one that's...
The Hollywood love story everyone thought was too wild to fail has come to a shocking, fiery end. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, the couple who once seemed like the embodiment of passion and rebellion, have shattered in a breakup so explosive it's left fans reeling. Their whirlwind romance, filled with headline-grabbing moments, jaw-dropping public appearances, and over-the-top declarations of love, has come crashing down in a storm of heartbreak, drama, and unanswered questions. And believe me, the drama doesn't stop here. It only gets crazier. This isn't just another chapter in the endless saga of celebrity breakups. It's a cautionary tale that feels ripped straight from a Hollywood screenplay. Their relationship blurred the lines between reality and performance art so much that fans are left wondering, was it even real? Or was it all a show for the cameras? One thing's for sure, the fallout from this epic implosion is far from over. Just wait until you hear what's next. Megan Fox, a name synonymous with sultry allure and rebellious charisma, found herself irresistibly drawn to the enigmatic Machine Gun Kelly. A man whose edgy persona, raw musical talent, and unpredictable behavior had already made him a magnetic force in the entertainment world. From the moment their paths crossed, it was as though two powerful energies collided, creating a spark that could not be ignored. Their chemistry was instant, electric, and undeniable. Fans couldn't help but take notice, and it wasn't long before whispers turned into headlines. The beginning of their whirlwind romance felt almost scripted, like a modern-day fairy tale but with a dark, punk rock twist. Megan and MGK didn't just fall for each other. They dove headfirst into a connection so intense it bordered on obsession, and Hollywood couldn't get enough. They became the talk of the town, a couple that defied norms and basked in their rebellious love. Red carpets turned into their personal stages, where they flaunted their bond with bold fashion statements, provocative poses, and unapologetic PDA. It wasn't just love, it was a spectacle, and everyone wanted a front row seat. But their relationship wasn't just about holding hands and
being like, you know, crucifying me for being plastic or whatever. So if you were to ask her, she would be like, well, that's because she perpetuates an unhealthy standard of beauty.
Sharing sweet nothings. Oh no, this was something entirely different, something much darker and far more captivating. They were the couple who made headlines for matching tattoos that weren't just ink, but symbolic declarations of their eternal bond. They shared intimate glimpses into their lives through cryptic social media posts, each one dissected by fans and media alike. And just when you thought they couldn't surprise you anymore, they dropped the bombshell that had everyone talking for weeks. Not only that, things took a turn for the bizarre when they revealed one of the most shocking details about their connection. They drank each other's blood. Yes, you read that right. This wasn't some playful metaphor or poetic declaration of love. According to Megan herself, it was an actual ritual. Whether it was a spiritual act, a sign of devotion, or simply another way to grab headlines, one thing was clear. It wasn't something the world had seen before. Fans were stunned, critics were appalled, and the media had a field day. The world collectively asked, how far would this couple go to prove their love? Their story didn't just blur the lines between love and theatrics, it completely erased them. Their relationship became a performance art piece, a captivating yet chaotic saga that kept everyone on edge. It was as if they thrived on the attention, feeding off the drama and controversy they created together. But with such intensity came an undeniable strain, one that no amount of matching tattoos or grand gestures could mask. Even as the world watched in awe, cracks began to form in their picture-perfect image. What started as a love story unlike any other was slowly transforming into something darker, something that hinted at trouble brewing beneath the surface. Their larger-than-life romance, as mesmerizing as it was, carried the weight of its own chaos, a weight that would ultimately prove too heavy to bear. And the story doesn't stop here. The deeper you dig into their tale, the more surreal it becomes. Their love wasn't just about passion. It was about rebellion, about defying expectations and rewriting the rules of what a Hollywood romance could look like. But in doing so, they walked a fine line between authenticity and spectacle. And as much as they tried to convince the world that their love was real and unbreakable, the cracks in their foundation became harder and harder to ignore.
I have this thing in my life where I just like run everyone away that loves me. And so Cameron loves me, and I have this thing where I was like, you can't love me too much.
Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly weren't just a couple, they were a phenomenon. They were the embodiment of modern-day romance gone rogue. A pairing so wild it felt almost too surreal to be true. But as their story unfolded, it became clear that their love wasn't immune to the pressures of fame, scrutiny, and their own self-created chaos. The world couldn't look away, but maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what they wanted all along. Beneath the glamorous surface of Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly's fiery romance, a different story was beginning to emerge. One far more complicated and unsettling than the Hollywood fairy tale they portrayed to the world. While the couple dazzled fans with their intense chemistry and headline-grabbing antics, those closest to them began to notice subtle cracks forming in their seemingly unbreakable bond. At the center of the storm was MGK, whose history of impulsive behavior was no secret. His erratic actions and wild lifestyle, once seen as thrilling and rebellious, started to reveal a darker, more troubling side. From his public feuds with fellow musicians and celebrities to his unsettling tendency for self-destructive antics, MGK's unpredictable nature began to raise alarms. For Megan, what had initially seemed like raw authenticity, a break from the carefully curated facades of Hollywood, began to take on a more ominous tone. Behind closed doors, those closest to Megan reportedly grew increasingly concerned. While MGK's bad boy image was part of what had drawn her to him in the first place, living with the reality of his unpredictable behavior was proving to be far more challenging. The spontaneity and rebellion that once made him magnetic now felt at times dangerously volatile, less like the excitement of a rock and roll lifestyle and more like the ticking of a time bomb, ready to explode at any moment. And then, as if fate intervened to redirect their chaotic journey, came the announcement that would change everything. Megan was pregnant. What should have been a moment of unbridled joy became a poignant turning point in their tumultuous love story. For Megan, who had already endured the profound heartbreak of a miscarriage in the past, this pregnancy was deeply significant. She spoke openly about the emotional weight of carrying new life, revealing her hopes for a fresh start and a chance to heal some of the wounds from her past. MGK, for his part, appeared to step into the role of expectant father with surprising sincerity. In public, he radiated excitement about their growing family, expressing heartfelt sentiments that seemed to signal a genuine shift in his priorities. He was seen attending prenatal appointments with Megan, a gesture that melted the hearts of fans who had long followed their rocky journey. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though the arrival of their baby might be the catalyst for a new, more grounded chapter in their lives. But even as they embraced the idea of parenthood, the realities of their volatile relationship continued to loom large. Megan's past experiences as a mother had shaped her in profound ways, and she was determined to provide a stable, loving environment for her child. Yet, MGK's history suggested he might not be fully equipped to handle the demands of fatherhood, especially with the pressures of fame and his ongoing personal struggles. The announcement of their pregnancy also brought with it a wave of public speculation. Fans and critics alike couldn't help but wonder if this new development would truly bring the couple closer together, or if it might magnify the tensions that already existed between them. After all, the road to parenthood is never easy, and for two people as deeply entrenched in the public eye as Megan and MGK, the challenges would only be amplified. Despite the doubts, there were moments of hope that seemed to shine through the chaos. Megan shared glimpses of her excitement for this new chapter, posting heartfelt reflections about the transformative power of motherhood. MGK, too, showed signs of growth, speaking openly about his desire to break free from the cycles of pain and self-destruction that had defined much of his life. For a brief period, it seemed as though the couple might actually be on the verge of a breakthrough, a chance to trade their tumultuous past for a future defined by love, stability, and family. But the shadows of their past were never far behind. For Megan and MGK, the pressures of their unconventional romance, coupled with the challenges of impending parenthood, created a delicate balancing act. Would they be able to rise above the chaos and build a life together? Or would the very qualities that had drawn them to each other ultimately tear them apart? What made their story so compelling and so heartbreaking was the raw humanity at its core. This wasn't just a tale of celebrity glitz and glamour. It was a deeply personal journey, filled with moments of joy, pain, and vulnerability. For Megan, the pregnancy represented a second chance, a beacon of hope that she clung to even as the storms of her relationship threatened to drown her. For MGK, it was an opportunity to redefine himself, not as a rock and roll rebel, but as a man ready to take on the responsibilities of fatherhood and partnership. And yet, the question remained, could they truly change? Could two people so accustomed to living life on the edge find the stability and peace they needed to raise a child together? Or was their love story destined to become yet another Hollywood cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes passion alone isn't enough to sustain a relationship? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain. The arrival of their baby marked a turning point in their story, a moment of reckoning that would force both Megan and MGK to confront the realities of their relationship and the choices they had made. Whether it would bring them closer together or push them further apart remained to be seen. But the world was watching, and the stakes had never been higher. The seemingly picture-perfect narrative of Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly's growing family took a shocking turn that no one saw coming. What began as a cozy Thanksgiving getaway in the snowy paradise of Vail, Colorado, quickly spiraled into a dramatic and emotionally charged confrontation that left their relationship in shambles. On the surface, it seemed like the ultimate holiday escape, a chance for the couple to reconnect and enjoy some much-needed peace amidst the chaos of their high-profile lives. But behind closed doors, the cracks in their romance became impossible to ignore.
I know all the fighters and their backstories, and I've been into it for a few years now. He likes it, but I'm definitely the one that's...
Insiders close to the couple have revealed that what should have been a joyful retreat turned into an explosive showdown when Megan stumbled upon a series of incriminating messages on MGK's phone. These weren't just innocent texts. They reportedly suggested that MGK had been engaging in inappropriate communication with other women. The discovery was devastating for Megan, who had already been grappling with the emotional highs and lows of pregnancy. The betrayal struck a nerve, cutting deeply into the trust that was already fragile between them. The timing of this revelation couldn't have been worse. Megan, who had opened up about the emotional and physical challenges of her pregnancy, was blindsided by the realization that the man she had envisioned building a future with might not be fully committed to their relationship. For Megan, the discovery wasn't just a breach of trust. It was a stark reminder of MGK's history of impulsive decisions and reckless behavior. To fully grasp the impact of this betrayal, it's essential to delve into MGK's tumultuous past. A career built on rebellion and controversy, MGK's rise to fame has been anything but conventional. His music, often described as raw and unapologetic, struck a chord with fans who saw him as a symbol of defiance against the status quo. But that defiance came with a price. MGK's penchant for pushing boundaries extended beyond his art, seeping into his personal life in ways that often left those closest to him struggling to keep up. From the outset, MGK's relationship with Megan was anything but ordinary. Their connection, fueled by intense passion and a shared disdain for societal norms, captivated the public. They were the quintessential Hollywood it couple, constantly making headlines with their outlandish displays of affection and unfiltered glimpses into their unconventional love. But beneath the glamour and spectacle, there was always an undercurrent of chaos, a volatility that hinted at deeper issues beneath the surface. MGK's track record of impulsive actions only added fuel to the fire. Over the years, he had become notorious for his unpredictable behavior, from high-profile feuds with fellow artists to his erratic presence on social media. His clashes with the likes of Eminem and G-Eazy became headline news, showcasing a man unafraid to go toe-to-toe with anyone who crossed him. But while these antics may have bolstered his image as a fearless provocateur, they also painted a picture of someone who struggled with control, a trait that undoubtedly bled into his relationship with Megan. For Megan, MGK's rebellious nature was initially part of the allure. As someone who has long been drawn to those who defy convention, she saw in MGK a kindred spirit, a man unafraid to live life on his own terms. But over time, what had once been exhilarating began to feel exhausting. The same qualities that had drawn her to him were now creating a chasm between them, one that only grew wider with each new controversy. The messages Megan discovered during their Thanksgiving trip were more than just a betrayal. They were the culmination of months, perhaps even years, of underlying tension. For someone like Megan, who has always been fiercely private and protective of her personal life, the public scrutiny surrounding their relationship was already a significant challenge. Add to that the emotional toll of pregnancy, and the revelation of MGK's inappropriate behavior became an almost unbearable burden. The confrontation that followed the discovery of these messages was reportedly intense, with both Megan and MGK airing grievances that had been simmering beneath the surface for far too long. Sources suggest that Megan didn't hold back, confronting MGK about his lack of accountability and the impact his actions were having on her emotional well-being. For MGK, who has never shied away from conflict, the exchange was likely as heated as it was heartbreaking. In the aftermath of the Vale incident, questions about the future of their relationship began to swirl. Could they repair the damage caused by MGK's betrayal, or had the trust between them been irrevocably broken? For Megan, who had once seen MGK as her soulmate and partner in crime, the realization that he might not be the person she thought he was came as a devastating blow. What makes this story all the more tragic is the backdrop against which it unfolded. Megan and MGK weren't just navigating the challenges of a high-profile romance, they were also preparing to bring a child into the world. The pregnancy, which had initially seemed like a beacon of hope for the couple, now felt like an added layer of complexity in an already fraught relationship. For Megan, the stakes couldn't have been higher. She wasn't just fighting for her own happiness, she was fighting to create a stable and loving environment for her unborn child. The events of that fateful Thanksgiving trip in Vale marked a turning point in Megan and MGK's relationship. While they had weathered their fair share of storms in the past, this betrayal felt different, more personal, more profound. For Megan, it was a wake-up call, forcing her to confront the realities of her relationship and make some difficult decisions about what she was willing to tolerate. As for MGK, the fallout from his actions served as yet another reminder of the consequences of his impulsive behavior. While his career and public persona have always thrived on chaos, his personal life was proving to be far less forgiving. Whether he's able to learn from this experience and make amends remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the road ahead for Megan and MGK is anything but certain. What started as a whirlwind romance filled with passion and promise has now become a cautionary tale of what happens when trust is broken and boundaries are crossed. For Megan and MGK, the idyllic image of a happy family-to-be has been shattered, leaving them to pick up the pieces and decide whether their love is strong enough to withstand the weight of betrayal. The fallout from the Vail incident unleashed a wave of explosive rumors that thrust Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly even deeper into the public eye. Allegations of MGK's infidelity began circulating, ranging from whispers of casual flirtations to claims of full-fledged affairs with multiple women. Although none of these accusations have been definitively proven, the sheer volume and persistence of the rumors were enough to paint a damning picture of a man seemingly unable or unwilling to remain loyal to his pregnant partner. The intrigue only deepened as details about the alleged indiscretions surfaced. Some reports suggested MGK had been engaging in flirtatious text exchanges with women he'd met at industry events, while others pointed to possible secret rendezvous during his tour stops. Fans and critics alike were quick to dissect every piece of evidence, from ambiguous social media interactions to the cryptic behavior of the women allegedly involved. The public, already hooked on the couple's roller coaster romance, devoured each new development with relentless fascination. For Megan, the situation was nothing short of heartbreaking. She had already endured the emotional and physical toll of pregnancy, and now she found herself grappling with the possibility that the man she loved was betraying her trust. MGK, whose career had always been steeped in rebellion and controversy, seemed to struggle with balancing his rock and roll lifestyle with the responsibilities of being a partner and soon-to-be father. The contrast between his public image and the private reality of his relationship with Megan was becoming harder to ignore. In the midst of the chaos, Megan made a bold choice: silence. While MGK attempted to control the narrative with cryptic song lyrics and carefully curated social media posts, Megan opted to step back from the public eye entirely. It was a stark departure from her usual approach, but one that spoke volumes about her priorities. Rather than engaging in a public back and forth or fueling the gossip mill, she focused on what truly mattered: her own well-being and that of her unborn child. Megan's decision to retreat was met with a wave of support from those closest to her. Friends and loved ones rallied around her, offering encouragement and reminding her of her strength. For a woman who had long been celebrated for her independence and resilience,